There comes a night in every person's life when something shifts, when the silence of your struggle begins to echo with purpose. Tonight is that night. The chosen ones can feel it. Something deep inside you is stirring. A whisper saying, it's time. You've carried the pain, you've endured the loneliness, and you've been misunderstood for so long that it almost became your identity. But tonight, that identity changes. Tonight, the heavens align with your destiny. The transformation you've been praying for, working for, crying for, it's finally unfolding. Not next month, not next year. It's happening now. You see, chosen ones are never comfortable in the crowd because they were never meant to fit in. You were designed to stand out. That restlessness you feel is not anxiety. It's destiny knocking on your door. And tonight, that door swings wide open. Your spirit will rise higher, your mind will stretch wider, and your confidence will burn brighter than ever before. Because when transformation comes, it doesn't ask for permission. It announces itself through your breakthrough. Listen closely, chosen one. You have carried more than most could handle. You have walked through darkness that others wouldn't survive, and yet you're still standing. Not only standing, you're evolving. Tonight, something within you shifts. This is not coincidence. This is divine alignment. For too long, you've been asking why things didn't work out, why people left, why doors closed. But tonight, the answers no longer matter because you're entering a stage where you don't need explanations. You need elevation. And that elevation starts the moment you decide that your past has no authority over your next chapter. The pain that once paralyzed you will now push you. The tears that once blurred your vision will now baptize your clarity. Every broken piece of your past is forming the mosaic of your destiny. The chosen ones don't escape pain. They rise above it. You have been tested beyond measure because your future requires strength beyond average. You were not designed to blend in with mediocrity. Your light was too bright for ordinary rooms. Your vision was too vast for small-minded people. And your purpose was too powerful to be delayed any longer. Tonight, you walk out of the waiting room of life and step into the arena of destiny. Feel the shift. Breathe it in. This is your confirmation. The energy around you is changing, and so is the energy within you. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you were always meant to be. Every disappointment was redirection. Every setback was set up. Every heartbreak was heart growth. Tonight, transformation isn't something you chase. It's something you embody. Your frequency rises, your confidence strengthens, and your faith becomes unshakable. This is the night your spirit declares, enough. Enough of playing small. Enough of doubting your power. Enough of waiting for permission. You are the permission. You are the sign you've been looking for. And the world is about to witness your awakening. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. Your journey has been divinely timed, and the transformation you've been sensing, it's here. This is the night you stop surviving and start living with purpose, with conviction, with power. So stand tall, chosen one. Breathe deeply, lift your head. You made it through the fire, not to smell like smoke, but to shine like gold. Tonight is not about becoming, it's about remembering. Remembering who you are, what you carry, and what you were born to do. The transformation is happening in your mind, in your spirit, in your destiny. Everything that was against you is now working for you. This is your season of alignment, your moment of rebirth, your hour of revelation. Chosen ones, it's happening right here, right now. And the world will soon see what heaven already knew. You were always destined to rise. The storm was necessary because without it you would have never discovered the depth of your own strength. Storms don't come to destroy you, they come to develop you. They arrive uninvited, shaking everything you thought was secure, tearing away your comfort zones, and forcing you to confront the truth of who you are. People often pray for calm seas, but the truth is, calm seas never made skilled sailors. It's only when the winds roar and the waves crash that you learn how to steer your ship. In life, the storm is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Think about it. Every time you faced a problem that seemed impossible, didn't it make you think differently? Didn't it awaken a part of you that was sleeping? When you lost that job, you thought it was the end, but it was only the beginning of a greater version of you. You wouldn't have discovered your creativity, your resilience, your resourcefulness if everything had gone as planned. The storm forced you to dig deeper, to tap into the power that was already inside you, but remained dormant in your comfort. Many people run from their storms, but the chosen ones stand in the middle of them and learn to dance with the rain. because they know that every lightning strike illuminates something they couldn't see in the sunshine. Storms reveal what the calm hides. They expose weak foundations, false friends, and misplaced trust. They strip away the illusion so that only what's real remains. The storm is not cruelty, it's clarity. Sometimes you lose people you thought you couldn't live without, and in that loss you find yourself. Sometimes your plans collapse, and in that wreckage you discover purpose. Pain is the most honest mentor you will ever have because it never lies. It tells you exactly where you need to grow. The storm was necessary because without it you would have stayed small, trapped in comfort, pretending you were happy just because you were safe. Imagine a seed planted in the soil. If the rain never fell, that seed would never break open. The pressure of the soil, the force of the rain, and the heat of the sun are all part of its transformation. Without those elements, the seed would remain buried forever. The same is true for you. The storm was designed to crack you open, to bring forth the strength, creativity, and wisdom that the world needed to see. You see, when everything is easy, you don't grow. When you have everything you want, you stop reaching. It's the storm that keeps you moving, keeps you humble, keeps you dependent on growth. Life doesn't test you to break you. It tests you to show you what you're made of. Every challenge, every delay, every heartbreak was training you for the place you're about to step into. Think about the butterfly. It doesn't become beautiful by avoiding struggle. It becomes beautiful by fighting its way out of the cocoon. That process looks painful, but it's necessary because the struggle strengthens its wings. If someone cuts open the cocoon to help it escape easily, the butterfly dies because its wings never develop. Your storm is your cocoon. It's uncomfortable, it's tight, it's dark, but it's forming your wings. Many times you ask, why me? But if you could see the end from the beginning, you'd be asking, thank you. Because every storm has been divinely calculated to bring you to maturity. The people who hurt you were lessons in disguise. The job that rejected you was redirection. The heartbreak that shattered you was transformation. Nothing was wasted. Every tear watered the soil of your future. Think about the strongest people you know. None of them got that strength by walking an easy path. They learned it by surviving storms. They found their courage in chaos. They found their faith in uncertainty. They found their power when they had no other choice but to rise. The storm was the training ground that made them unstoppable. You might not see it now, but one day you will look back and realize the storm didn't destroy you, it revealed you. It stripped away the false layers until your real self emerged. That version of you who no longer fears loss, who no longer seeks validation, who no longer apologizes for existing. Storms awaken warriors. Think about the times you cried in silence when no one saw your pain. You thought those tears were weakness, but they were cleansing your soul. You thought your isolation was punishment, but it was preparation. Because storms isolate you to elevate you. They remove distractions so you can hear your own power. They shake you so you can finally see what's unshakable inside you. Life is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be purposeful. Storms bring purpose. They remind you that you are alive, that you can endure, that you can begin again. People who live in constant comfort never discover who they truly are. But you've chosen one. You've been through things that should have broken you, yet here you are. Stronger, wiser, softer, more aware. The storm didn't weaken you, it woke you. You might still be in the middle of your storm right now, but remember this, storms don't last forever, but they do leave lessons that last a lifetime. One day you will use the wisdom born in this chaos to guide others through their own. That's what the storm was preparing you for. To become the kind of person who turns pain into purpose, darkness into direction, struggle into strength. You are not a victim of the storm. You are a product of it. Every drop of rain that fell on you carried a message, keep going. Every gust of wind that tried to knock you down whispered, stand tall. Every thunderclap that scared you reminded you, you are still alive. Storms don't come to drown the chosen. They come to cleanse them, to renew them, to reveal them to the world in their purest, strongest, and most authentic form. So when the storm comes again, don't ask it to stop. Ask it to teach you. Because the storm was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you into someone unshakable, someone unstoppable. Someone who now knows that everything they went through was absolutely, undeniably, and gloriously necessary. Your isolation was your initiation, because separation is the secret ingredient of transformation. When life pulls you away from the crowd, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Isolation is the furnace where identity is forged. It's the quiet space where you begin to hear the voice within that you've been drowning out with noise, opinions, and distractions. Everyone wants greatness, but few are willing to walk alone to find it. Isolation is not loneliness, it's alignment. It's where the chosen ones are stripped of the world so they can be clothed with purpose. You see, when everyone suddenly stops calling, when the people you thought would stand beside you vanish, it feels personal, it feels painful. But in truth, it's preparation. Think about your own life. Remember those moments when you had no one to depend on but yourself. That's where your strength started to grow. That's where your vision began to sharpen. Isolation forces you to depend on your own voice, your own instincts, your own inner power. That's why chosen people are often misunderstood. They're being transformed in silence while everyone else is distracted by noise. When a seed is planted, it's buried in darkness. Nobody applauds it, nobody even sees it. It sits there, hidden beneath the soil, surrounded by silence and pressure. But in that darkness, something miraculous happens. It starts to grow. Isolation is that soil for your soul. It's dark, it's quiet, and it's uncomfortable, but it's where roots are formed. If the seed refused to be buried, it would never become a tree. The same way, if you refused isolation, you would never discover the greatness that's been hidden within you. In isolation, you start to see who was truly for you and who was simply around you. You learn that not everyone who claps for you is happy for you. When you're surrounded by people, their opinions shape your identity. But when you're alone, you start to hear the truth about yourself. The truth that says you were made for more, that you have something powerful to give to the world, that you don't need validation to have value. That realization is the beginning of your initiation. Look at the caterpillar. Before it becomes a butterfly, it wraps itself in a cocoon, a lonely, silent, motionless place. To the outside world, it looks dead, but inside, transformation is taking place. The old form is dissolving to make way for something divine. Isolation is your cocoon. It's where your old habits die, where your old fears fade, and where your new self begins to form. People might look at you and think you've fallen off, but they don't understand that you're being rebuilt. In daily life, you'll notice how the most profound ideas come when you're alone. Great writers, thinkers, creators, they all have moments when they detach from the noise to reconnect with their purpose. That's no coincidence. The world's greatest inventions, the most powerful visions, they were all born in solitude. Because silence sharpens focus. It teaches you what truly matters. When no one's watching, when no one's cheering, when no one's helping, that's when you discover what you're really made of. Think about the person who goes through heartbreak and spends nights alone, wondering why it all had to end. In that quiet pain, they learn self-love. They learn that their worth was never tied to someone's presence. Or think about the one who loses their job and spends days in uncertainty, questioning everything. In that isolation, they find creativity. They start the business they always dreamed of, or they learn a skill they never thought they needed. Isolation doesn't just test you, it transforms you. It replaces your dependence on the world with dependence on your inner power. Sometimes life will separate you from people you thought would be with you forever. It hurts because you don't understand it yet. But later you realize they were not meant to walk with you where you're going. They were a chapter, not the whole book. Isolation closes one chapter so a new one can begin. You can't hear your future calling if you're surrounded by voices from your past. In isolation, you meet yourself for the first time. You begin to recognize the patterns that held you back. You realize that peace is more valuable than popularity and purpose is worth more than approval. You start to love your own company. That's power, because once you learn to be content alone, you become unstoppable. You no longer chase people, you attract them. You no longer beg for opportunities, you create them. Isolation removes your dependence on the world so that you can rise independently from it. Many people fear being alone because they confuse isolation with abandonment. But isolation is not life leaving you, it's life preparing you. When everything goes quiet, it's not because nothing is happening, it's because something sacred is being built. The universe hides you before it reveals you. Just like a diamond is hidden deep within the earth, you too must go through pressure and solitude before you shine. You've probably noticed that during lonely seasons, your thoughts become louder. That's not a curse, it's clarity. You begin to confront your insecurities, your past wounds, your forgotten dreams. And though that process feels heavy, it's necessary. Because what's not faced can't be fixed. Isolation brings healing, but it also brings revelation. It shows you that your value doesn't depend on being seen. It's already within you, waiting to be expressed. Isolation also teaches discipline. When you're alone, you realize no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to push you. You have to push yourself. And that's when you start building habits, resilience, and mindset that separate you from the average. While others look for company to stay motivated, you've learned how to motivate yourself. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. You may think isolation is punishment, but it's actually promotion in disguise. Every great destiny requires distance. Distance from the crowd, distance from distraction, distance from doubt. When life separates you, it's because you've outgrown your environment. It's not rejection. It's elevation. There will be days when it feels like nobody understands you. That's part of initiation. People can't understand what they haven't experienced. They might call you strange, distant, or arrogant, but they don't know that you're simply evolving. They see absence, but they don't see growth. They see stillness, but they don't see the silent progress happening behind the curtain. So when life isolates you, don't fight it, embrace it. Because isolation is the birthplace of transformation. The most powerful version of you is being formed in this quiet, unseen space. The world may not notice now, but soon it will see the difference in your energy, your strength, your wisdom, your peace. Your isolation is not your ending. It's your initiation into something far greater than you ever imagined. Pain built your foundation, because without pain you would have never discovered what real strength looks like. People want success, happiness, peace, but they forget that everything meaningful in life is built through struggle. Pain is not punishment, it's construction. It's the invisible hand shaping your character, molding your heart, and preparing your mind for the weight of your destiny. Without pain, you'd never grow roots deep enough to survive the storms of life. Pain doesn't come to weaken you, it comes to strengthen the foundation on which your greatness will stand. Think about a building. Before it rises high into the sky, the builders dig deep into the ground. The deeper the foundation, the higher the building can stand. If you want to reach great heights in life, your foundation must be strong enough to hold that weight. And pain is the builder of that foundation. When life threw you challenges, heartbreaks, betrayals, losses, it wasn't trying to destroy you. It was digging, carving, deepening your soul so that when your season of greatness arrived, you wouldn't collapse under the pressure. You don't realize it while you're in the middle of the pain. In those moments, it feels unfair, unbearable, and endless. But pain has a strange way of revealing its purpose later. Look back at your life. The moments that hurt you the most became the same moments that changed you the most. That heartbreak taught you self-worth. That betrayal taught you discernment. That failure taught you patience. Pain was never your enemy. It was your mentor. In daily life, people often pray for comfort. But growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from being stretched, from being broken open, from learning how to stand again when everything inside you wants to give up. Pain doesn't just test your limits. It expands them. It teaches you to trust the process when you don't see progress. It teaches you to believe in light when all you can see is darkness. Remember the first time you fell as a child while learning to walk? You cried. But you got back up. And after enough falls, you learned balance. Life still works that way. Every fall strengthens your stability. Every failure builds your wisdom. Every tear makes your vision clearer. The pain you feel today is not wasted. It's laying the foundation for the strength you'll need tomorrow. Think about how muscles grow. You don't grow stronger by resting. You grow stronger by breaking down muscle fibers through resistance. The pain you feel when you lift something heavy is a sign of growth. Life works the same way. The emotional, mental, and spiritual pain you experience are resistance exercises for your soul. Without resistance, there's no growth. Pain breaks down the weak parts of you so that the stronger version can emerge. People often envy those who seem strong, composed, and confident, but they don't see the pain that built that strength. Strength is not inherited, it's earned through survival. It's built by the nights you cried but still showed up in the morning. It's built by the times you felt invisible but kept believing in your worth. It's built by the moments you had nothing left to give, yet somehow found a way to keep moving. Pain built that. Every scar you carry is proof that pain didn't destroy you, it developed you. In relationships, pain teaches you to love with wisdom. In business, pain teaches you to plan with patience. In failure, pain teaches you resilience. In loneliness, pain teaches you independence. Every form of pain carries a different lesson, but all lead to the same result, strength. Pain strips away illusions and brings truth. It removes arrogance and plants humility. It takes away excuses and replaces them with discipline. Think about a potter shaping clay. He doesn't handle it gently. He presses, molds, and applies pressure until it takes form. If the clay could speak, it would probably scream under that pressure, but the potter knows exactly what he's doing. The pressure is not to harm, it's to shape. Your life works the same way. Pain is the pressure that forms purpose. Without it, you'd remain shapeless, undefined, unready. Look at anyone who has achieved something meaningful. Behind every success, there's a story of struggle. The athlete trains through exhaustion and pain before they ever win a medal. The artist faces rejection after rejection before anyone calls them talented. The entrepreneur fails multiple times before success finally arrives. Pain is the price of progress. Nobody escapes it, but the chosen learn to embrace it. Pain also has a way of connecting you to compassion. When you've suffered, you understand others better. You don't judge quickly because you know what it feels like to fall. Pain gives you empathy. It softens your heart even as it strengthens your spirit. It makes you capable of leading, guiding, and uplifting others because you've walked through the fire yourself. Daily life constantly gives small examples of this truth. Think of the mother who works tirelessly, her body aching, her mind weary, yet she keeps going for her children. Her pain builds the foundation of her family's future. Think of the student who studies late into the night, sacrificing rest and comfort to build a better life. Their exhaustion is building a foundation for their dreams. Think of the person who starts over after losing everything. Every sleepless night, every doubt, every lonely moment, it's all part of the construction. Pain is laying the bricks of their comeback. Pain also reveals who you truly are. When everything is easy, anyone can pretend to be strong. But when pain shows up, your true character emerges. It's easy to smile when the sun is shining, but it takes strength to smile in the rain. It's easy to believe when things go your way, but true faith is forged in moments when nothing makes sense. People who avoid pain also avoid depth. They live on the surface, never truly discovering themselves. But those who face their pain head on, they find gold beneath the rubble. They find wisdom in wounds. They find light in the darkest corners. That's why the chosen ones don't curse their pain. They study it, they learn from it, they grow through it. Because they know that every painful experience is a piece of the foundation for their purpose. Pain built your patience, your perspective, your persistence. It taught you how to stand alone. It gave you strength disguised as struggle. The cracks in your heart became windows for light to enter. You learned that nothing real can be destroyed by pain. It can only be refined. So the next time life hurts, don't ask why it's happening to you. Instead, ask what it's building in you. Because pain never leaves you the same. It rebuilds you from the ground up, stronger, wiser, and ready for what's next. You are hidden for protection because sometimes visibility is not a blessing. It's a burden. Sometimes being unseen is not rejection, it's preservation. When life takes you off the stage, when no one seems to notice your effort, when everything you do goes unrecognized, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're being shielded from something that could destroy you before you're ready. The chosen ones are not always exposed early. They are often concealed, refined, and prepared in private. Life hides you not to punish you, but to prepare you for a season where your presence will carry power, not pressure. Think about gold before it shines. It's buried deep in the ground, hidden away from eyes, covered in dirt and stone. Nobody looks at that rock and calls it precious. But in that hidden place, it's safe from being stolen, from being misused, from being sold before its true value is known. You too have been hidden for a reason. When you were misunderstood, when your talents were ignored, when people overlooked you, that was protection. Because if you had been seen too soon, your gift would have been exploited, your energy would have been drained, and your purpose could have been delayed. Sometimes you're hidden because the world isn't ready for what you carry. Your ideas, your dreams, your light, they're ahead of their time. And if you release them before maturity, the same people who clap for you now could crush you later. So life conceals you until your strength matches your vision. Isolation becomes incubation. The quiet season becomes your training ground. Every delay is developing your discipline. Every unnoticed effort is strengthening your character. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Think about a seed planted in soil. Once it's buried, you can't see it anymore. You might even think it's gone. But underneath the surface, it's growing roots. It's building a foundation strong enough to support the fruit it will one day bear. If the seed tried to grow before its roots were ready, it would die the moment the wind blew. So it stays hidden until it's strong enough to survive the storm. That's you. Your hidden season is your rooting season. You're growing unseen, but that doesn't mean you're not growing. It means you're becoming unshakable. In daily life, we crave recognition. We want validation, applause, acknowledgement. But what if being overlooked is the greatest gift you've ever received? Because when nobody's watching, you're free to make mistakes. You're free to learn, to fall, to rebuild without judgment. The spotlight exposes flaws, but the shadows allow growth. The world often sees the result, but rarely understands the preparation. Behind every successful person is a hidden season that nobody saw. Those late nights of self-doubt, those silent battles, those unseen efforts, that's where the real transformation happened. You were hidden for protection from wrong people too. Sometimes life hides you from relationships that would drain your energy. It hides you from friendships that look loyal but are laced with jealousy. It hides you from environments that seem exciting but are actually dangerous for your spirit. How many times did you want to be part of a group that didn't include you? How many times did you feel left out or abandoned? And now, looking back, you realize that being left out was the best thing that ever happened to you. Not everyone can handle your light. Some people would have dimmed it just to make themselves more comfortable. Being hidden also protects your heart from premature exposure. Because if you're seen too early, people will define you before you define yourself. They'll label your life before you've even learned who you are. That's why life conceals you in seasons of stillness, so you can find your identity without interference. It gives you time to build confidence, not based on compliments but on clarity. When your validation no longer depends on visibility, that's when you're truly ready to be seen. Think about how a photographer develops a picture. In the old days, photos were created in a darkroom. The image couldn't be exposed to light too soon, or it would be ruined. It needed time in darkness to develop properly. You are that image. The darkness you're in is not punishment, it's development. The silence is shaping you. The waiting is teaching you. The loneliness is maturing you. The moment you're fully formed, life will bring you into the light, and everything about you will be clear, complete, and beautiful. In daily examples, this truth appears everywhere. The athlete trains in silence before stepping into the stadium. The singer practices for years before the crowd ever cheers their name. The student studies through long nights before the graduation applause. The builder lays foundations no one sees before the skyscraper rises. Greatness always begins hidden. The world only notices the reveal, but the strength is born in the concealment. You were hidden for protection because exposure without preparation is dangerous. Many people fall not because they weren't talented, but because they were revealed too soon. Fame without wisdom is failure. Power without discipline is destruction. That's why your hidden season is sacred. It's saving you from premature success that could have destroyed your destiny. It's protecting you from opportunities that look good but would have broken you. It's saving you from people who would have celebrated you publicly and betrayed you privately. Sometimes you see others shining and wonder, why not me? But you don't realize their timeline is not your timeline. Your story is not delayed. It's designed differently. You're being refined while they're being displayed. And when it's your turn, your foundation will be so strong that nothing can shake you. Because while others built their image, you built your character. While they chased attention, you developed endurance. You might not see it now, but every hidden day matters. Every quiet hour of work, every unnoticed act of kindness, every lonely night of growth is a brick in your foundation. One day, when your moment arrives, you'll look back and realize the hiding was never about rejection. It was about preservation. Because what's built too fast falls too soon, but what's built in silence lasts forever. You were hidden for protection so that when your season comes, you won't just appear, you'll arrive complete. Every scar, every lesson, every silent prayer will become the strength that sustains you. Your story won't need noise because your presence will speak louder than words. You'll no longer have to chase visibility. visibility will chase you. Because when you've been hidden for the right reasons, your reveal is unstoppable. Your transformation begins in silence. In the noise of this world, where everyone is shouting for attention, silence has become rare, almost sacred. Yet it's in that quiet moment when the world stops demanding your response that your soul starts to whisper. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of clarity. It's that moment when you finally hear your own voice after years of being drowned by opinions, judgments, and expectations. People fear silence because it forces them to face themselves. They fear what they might hear inside, their doubts, their pain, their truth. But what they don't realize is that silence is where strength is born. It's in silence that warriors prepare before battle, leaders think before they speak, and dreamers plan before they rise. Imagine a seed buried deep in the ground. It's not loud, it's not visible, it's not celebrated. Yet in that quiet darkness, transformation is happening. Roots are forming, strength is building, and purpose is taking shape. No one applauds the seed in the soil, but without that silent stage, there would be no tree, no fruit, no legacy. Your growth works the same way. The silence you resist is the soil your greatness needs. You might feel buried, but you're not buried to die. You're buried to grow. Silence teaches patience. It teaches you that not every move needs to be announced, not every pain needs to be shared, and not every dream needs to be explained. In silence, your focus sharpens. Your energy is not wasted convincing people of who you are. It's invested in becoming who you are meant to be. Think of how the world moves in cycles. Even the sun sets before it rises again. Night doesn't mean the light has died. It's just resting in silence, preparing to return stronger, brighter, unstoppable. Your life works the same way. When you are silent, you are not defeated. You are being recharged, recalibrated, and prepared for what's next. Many people mistake silence for weakness. They think the one who doesn't speak is the one who has no power. But the truth is, silence is the weapon of the wise. Even lions walk silently before they roar. They know timing is everything. Your silence is not emptiness, it's strategy. While others are busy making noise, you are gathering wisdom. While they are chasing validation, you are mastering yourself. And when the time comes, your move will speak louder than any word ever could. In daily life, this transformation begins when you stop reacting to everything around you. When someone criticizes you, you don't rush to defend yourself. When things don't go your way, you don't complain. Instead, you step back, you breathe, and you watch. That stillness gives you control. You begin to see what truly matters and what doesn't deserve your energy. You start to realize that not every battle needs to be fought. Not every argument needs a reply. And not every distraction deserves your focus. That's when maturity is born, not in noise, but in silence. Think about the most successful people you know. They're not the ones shouting about their progress. They're the ones working in silence. While others talk about dreams, they're building theirs. While others post every move, they're mastering their craft. Then one day they emerge and the world calls them an overnight success. But the truth is, their silence was years of unseen preparation. So if you're in a season of silence right now, don't rush out of it. Embrace it. This is your foundation season. This is where your character, vision, and strength are built. Silence also connects you to your inner voice. In a world filled with opinions, it's easy to lose your own. You start living for likes, approval, and applause. But when you sit alone in silence, you rediscover yourself. You begin to remember what you truly want, not what the world told you to want. You start to make decisions from wisdom, not pressure. And that's when transformation truly begins. Because transformation is not about changing how you look. It's about changing how you think. And silence gives you the space to do that. When you wake up early in the morning before the world starts moving, listen to that silence. It's not empty. It's full of messages. It's your spirit aligning with your destiny. In that moment, ideas come, clarity comes, peace comes. Transformation begins quietly, not dramatically. It doesn't start with applause, it starts with alignment. And alignment requires quiet. You don't need to broadcast every step of your journey. Sometimes the most powerful move is the one no one sees. Let your silence confuse those who expect you to explain. Let your growth surprise those who doubted your potential. Remember, the most dangerous person in any room is the one who doesn't speak much. Because they are observing, learning, and waiting for the right moment. Silence gives you that power. It teaches you discipline, patience, and depth. So when life feels quiet, when progress feels slow, When everything around you seems still, don't panic. That silence is sacred. That stillness is preparing you for motion. That pause is your power. Transformation doesn't happen when you're shouting. It happens when you're listening. Because when you finally learn to hear your own inner voice above the noise of the world, that's when the shift begins. That's when the old version of you fades and the real you starts to emerge. And in that emergence lies the transformation you've been waiting for all along. This is your appointed season. Every moment before this has been preparation, every tear, every heartbreak, every rejection, every delay. It was not denial, it was development. You may not have understood it while walking through it, but life was molding you, sharpening you, shaping you for this exact moment. There are seasons when nothing seems to make sense, when you feel like the world forgot your name, when doors close one after another, and you begin to question if you're even meant to rise. But what you must understand is that the waiting season is never wasted. It's the stage where the invisible work happens. It's where your roots grow deep before your branches reach wide. And now, this is your appointed season. The time when everything that was once confusing will begin to make sense. Look at the butterfly. Before it flies, it's wrapped in silence, hidden from the world, struggling inside a cocoon. To anyone watching, it might seem lifeless, forgotten, stuck. But inside, transformation is taking place. Its wings are forming, its strength is building, and its destiny is aligning. When it finally breaks free, no one remembers how long it waited. They only see how beautifully it soars. Your life is no different. The cocoon wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The silence wasn't rejection, it was positioning. And now, the breaking point you've been afraid of is about to become your breakthrough. When you are chosen for something greater, you are prepared differently. Not everyone will understand your process because they weren't built for your purpose. While others are playing, you are being processed. While others are celebrated, you are being refined. It's easy to feel forgotten when you are in preparation. But remember, these diamonds are not made in daylight. They're formed in the pressure and darkness of the earth. Your appointed season requires that same pressure, that same hiddenness. Every struggle you've endured was designed to give you the strength to handle what's coming next. There's a story written inside you, one that has been waiting for the right time to unfold. And timing is everything. If fruit grows before its season, it spoils. If you succeed before you're ready, you crumble. That's why sometimes the delay is divine. It's not that you were overlooked. It's that the stage wasn't ready for you yet. The lights weren't set. The right people hadn't arrived. And the environment needed to match your calling. When you finally step into your appointed season, things start aligning almost effortlessly. People who once ignored you will suddenly recognize your value. Doors that stayed locked for years will swing open without you knocking. It's not coincidence, it's timing. Think about how seasons change in nature. Winter seems endless, cold and harsh, but beneath the frozen ground, life is preparing to bloom again. And when spring comes, it doesn't announce itself loudly, it just happens. The flowers bloom, the air shifts, and everything comes alive. That's how your appointed season arrives. Quietly, naturally, beautifully. One morning you'll wake up and realize things feel lighter, opportunities appear, and peace replaces pressure. That's when you know the shift has happened. The problem is, many people give up right before their appointed season begins. They let impatience steal their blessing. They compare their timing with others and forget that destiny doesn't follow a crowd. It follows calling. Your season won't look like anyone else's. Stop looking at how fast others are moving and focus on what's being built inside you. Greatness is not in how fast you rise. It's in how well you endure before rising. This is the season to trust what you can't yet see. To believe that even when it feels like nothing is moving, everything is being rearranged in your favor. In daily life, you might be working a job that feels meaningless, surrounded by people who don't see your worth, or facing challenges that make no sense. But remember, every seed starts underground, unnoticed. You are that seed. And while you may not see the growth yet, the roots of your purpose are spreading wide beneath the surface. Don't quit now, because when your appointed season arrives, it will come so fast that you'll realize why it had to take this long. You'll look back and say, if it had come earlier, I wouldn't have been ready. If I had received it sooner, I would have lost it. The waiting protected you from premature success. This is your appointed season to rise, not because of luck, but because of alignment. Everything you've been through was a setup for this exact time. The lessons, the losses, the lonely nights, they weren't wasted. They built your wisdom, your resilience, your discernment. The people who left were never meant to go where you're heading. The doors that closed were never meant to lead to your destiny. And the ones that open now will feel like they were waiting for only you to arrive. So stand tall in this season. Stop apologizing for outgrowing old places. Stop shrinking to fit where you no longer belong. This is your time to expand, to evolve, to embrace everything that was once beyond your reach. Because now you've been prepared for it. You've earned it through patience, through pain, through perseverance. And when it all begins to unfold, it won't be by accident. It will be because it was appointed. This is the moment life starts to reflect the strength you built in silence, the faith you carried in darkness, and the courage you found when no one was watching. This is your appointed season. Your mind must evolve before your life does. Everything in your life begins in your mind first. Your thoughts are the blueprint, and your reality is the construction. If your mind stays small, your world will stay small. If your mind expands, your world expands with it. People often say they want a better life, more success, more peace, more opportunities, but they keep the same limited mindset that created their current situation. They want the palace while thinking like a prisoner. They want abundance while living with a scarcity mentality. The truth is, transformation doesn't start with the environment around you. It starts with the environment within you. If you can shift the way you think, you can shift the direction of your entire life. Think about a caterpillar. Before it becomes a butterfly, it must completely transform. It doesn't just grow wings. It changes its entire structure, its entire existence. But before that transformation happens physically, something inside must evolve. It must be willing to let go of crawling to embrace flying. And many people never reach their potential because they are too afraid to outgrow the version of themselves they are comfortable with. Your old mindset cannot carry you into your new season. If you want to experience a higher level of life, you must train your mind to see beyond what your eyes can currently perceive. Every limitation in your life starts as a thought. When you tell yourself, I can't, your mind agrees and your body follows. But when you say, can, something in you begins to shift. Your energy changes, your actions align, and new possibilities begin to unfold. The world doesn't change when you wish for it. It changes when your mindset grows strong enough to command it. This is why two people can face the same storm, and one will see a problem while the other sees potential. It's not the storm that determines the outcome. It's the state of mind. Consider someone who has faced countless failures. One person says, this means I'm not good enough, and gives up. Another says, this means I'm learning something, and keeps going. Same situation, different mindset, completely different results. The second person eventually succeeds, not because life was easier, but because their mind evolved faster. When your mind grows, the obstacles don't disappear, but you become stronger, wiser, calmer, and more capable of overcoming them. In daily life, we meet people who want to change everything around them without changing what's inside them. They change jobs, relationships, homes, even cities, but end up feeling the same because they carry the same mindset with them. Your external life is only a reflection of your internal condition. If your mind stays fearful, your life will reflect fear. If your mind stays doubtful, your life will echo uncertainty. But if your mind becomes disciplined, courageous, and focused, your life begins to align with that power. Change doesn't start when you move. It starts when your thinking moves. Your thoughts are seeds. Every single day, you're planting something in the soil of your mind. If you keep planting negativity, you'll harvest frustration. If you plant faith, gratitude, and vision, you'll harvest success. But planting is not enough. You must also protect the garden. Weeds of fear and insecurity will try to grow in the same soil. That's why it's so important to guard your thoughts. Not every idea deserves space in your mind. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Your mind is sacred ground. What you allow to grow there will determine your destiny. Think of people who transformed their lives dramatically. They all started with one shift in perspective. Someone looked at poverty and decided, this isn't my final story. Someone faced heartbreak and said, this will build my strength. Someone was told, you can't. And their mind replied, watch me. That's how evolution begins. Not through luck or chance, but through mindset. Your external success is always a delayed reflection of your internal growth. You can't experience wealth with a poor mentality. You can't build peace while entertaining chaos in your mind. You can't attract opportunities while thinking you don't deserve them. Your mind must rise first, and your life will follow its lead. When you start changing your thinking, people will notice. They might call you different or distant, but that's because you're operating on a higher frequency. You'll stop wasting time in meaningless conversations because your focus will shift from gossip to growth. You'll stop reacting emotionally to everything because your evolved mind will understand that peace is more valuable than proving a point. You'll stop chasing validation because your confidence will come from within. And when your mind reaches that level of maturity, life starts responding differently. New doors open, not because the world changed, but because your perception did. The most dangerous prison in the world is not made of steel. It's made of thoughts. And most people never escape because they don't realize the key has been in their hand all along. The key is awareness. Once you become aware that your thoughts are creating your experience, you can choose differently. You can think bigger, dream deeper, and act bolder. You can train your mind to focus on progress instead of problems, gratitude instead of complaints, and faith instead of fear. Evolving your mind is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey. Every new level of life requires a new version of you. The mindset that helped you survive will not be the same one that helps you succeed. You have to constantly renew your thoughts, challenge your beliefs, and expand your understanding. Your growth depends on your willingness to unlearn what no longer serves you. If you want to rise, you must let go of the mental weights holding you down. Excuses, comparisons, and self-doubt. There will be moments when your mind resists change, when old habits try to pull you back into comfort. But comfort never created greatness. Growth happens in discomfort, in the moments when you stretch beyond what feels safe. And once your mind adapts to that higher level of thinking, your life starts to align with that new standard. Because your life can never outgrow your mindset. Once you master your thoughts, you master your world. Once your mind evolves, everything else begins to follow. The weight you carry proves your worth. People often see your struggles and think you are unlucky. But what they don't understand is that life only gives heavy loads to those who have the strength to carry them. The truth is, the weight you bear is not punishment. It's proof that you are trusted with something greater. The reason your challenges feel heavier than others is because your destiny is larger than theirs. Diamonds are not formed in comfort. They are formed under pressure. Gold is not purified by ease. It is purified by fire. And the strongest souls are not shaped by applause. They are shaped by adversity. So when life hands you burdens that make your shoulders ache, it's not a sign that you are weak. It's a message that you are built for more. Every mountain climber knows that the higher you climb, the thinner the air gets. It becomes harder to breathe, harder to move, harder to continue. But that's what makes reaching the peak so meaningful. In daily life, your climb may look different. Maybe you are struggling to build a career while others seem to have it easy. Maybe you are raising a family while holding yourself together. Maybe you are healing quietly from pain no one else even knows about. Whatever your mountain looks like, remember this. The weight you are carrying is the reason you will stand taller when you reach the top. It is shaping your muscles, building your resilience, and teaching you endurance. Think of a tree standing strong in a storm. The winds bend it, the rain batters it, the roots are tested. But after the storm passes, the tree stands even stronger because the roots have dug deeper. Your life works the same way. Every trial you face pushes your roots deeper into strength. And one day, when others are shaken by the smallest wind, you'll remain standing. Not because the storm was kind to you, but because you learned how to stand in it. The weight you carry also reveals your capacity. People who are destined for small things are given light loads. People who are chosen for great things are given heavy ones. If you were weak, life wouldn't trust you with so much. That betrayal that almost broke you, that loss that shattered you, that season that tested your faith, it all came because life knew you could survive it. And survival is not weakness, it's proof of inner greatness. Imagine an athlete training for a championship. While others rest, they lift heavier weights, run longer miles, and push their limits daily. From the outside, it looks exhausting. But every drop of sweat is a silent declaration of strength. When the time comes to perform, their endurance speaks for them. In the same way, your burdens are your training ground. They are preparing you for a victory that the untested will never know. So don't envy people with easy paths. Their roads are smooth because their destinations are simple. Your road is rough because your destiny is extraordinary. In daily life, we meet people who give up when things get heavy. They walk away from relationships, dreams, and responsibilities because the weight feels unfair. But the ones who stay, the ones who keep carrying the load even when their knees tremble, those are the ones who discover their true strength. Because you never really know how strong you are until being strong is your only option. And the moment you realize you didn't break, that's when you understand the value of your weight. Every burden you carry is building something inside you that comfort never could. It builds patience, character, empathy, and wisdom. When you go through pain and survive it, you learn to value peace. When you experience failure and rise again, you understand success differently. And when you lose everything and still find gratitude, you discover a power that can't be taken away. This is what the weight does. It transforms you. It takes you from who you were into who you are meant to be. Sometimes the people around you won't understand why your path is so hard. They might say you're doing too much or that life isn't fair. But what they don't realize is that your struggle is sacred. It's custom designed for your purpose. The universe doesn't give heavy loads to those who can't carry them. It chooses the ones who can handle pressure, pain, and perseverance because they're meant to lead others someday. So if your shoulders feel heavy right now, it's because you've been chosen for something great. Think about how a weightlifter grows stronger. They start small, lifting what they can handle. Over time, they add more weight, not to break themselves, but to build themselves. Every added pound increases strength. In the same way, life adds weight to you gradually. Every challenge is resistance training for your spirit. The more you lift, the stronger you become. And one day, you'll look back and realize the weight that once made you cry now feels light in your hands. The weight you carry also teaches you compassion. When you've walked through pain, you recognize it in others. You stop judging, you start understanding, you become a light for those still struggling because you know what it feels like to carry something heavy and invisible. That's the quiet beauty of your burden. It not only strengthens you, it softens you. It gives you the kind of wisdom that can't be learned in comfort. So when you wake up feeling overwhelmed, when you feel like the world is pressing on your chest, remember this truth: the weight you carry is evidence that you are capable of more than you think. Life never places greatness on unprepared shoulders. It only gives heavy loads to those who can turn them into strength, lessons, and legacy. The fact that you're still standing, still trying, still hoping means the weight has not defeated you. It has defined you. The pressure that once scared you is the same force that is shaping your destiny. Every tear, every trial, every sleepless night, they are all pieces of the story that will one day inspire someone else to keep going. Tonight your spirit awakens. Something deep within you is stirring, something that has been asleep for far too long. You felt it, haven't you? That quiet restlessness that whispers there's more to your life than what you're living right now. It's that subtle ache in your chest when you realize you've been surviving instead of living. You've been moving through routines, following patterns, wearing masks, doing what's expected, but not what's true. Tonight, that changes. Tonight, the sleeping part of you opens its eyes and remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. There comes a point in every person's life when the soul can't stay silent anymore. You begin to feel disconnected from things that once made you comfortable. You can't explain it, but what used to satisfy you suddenly feels empty. The conversations you once enjoyed now drain you. The places you used to go no longer fit your spirit. It's not depression, it's awakening. It's the moment your higher self starts to take control, pulling you out of a life that no longer aligns with who you're becoming. It's uncomfortable, yes, but growth always starts with discomfort. Imagine a bird inside an egg. Before it hatches, that shell is its entire world. It feels safe, familiar, and secure. But the moment it begins to grow, that shell becomes a prison. The same walls that once protected it now suffocate it. Breaking that shell is painful, but it's the only way it can fly. You are that bird. Your old habits, your fears, your doubts, they are the shell. And now your spirit is pushing against those walls, desperate to breathe, desperate to rise. That pressure you feel right now isn't punishment. It's the sign that you're outgrowing what once held you. In daily life, you see people walking around like ghosts, alive but not awake, chasing things that don't fulfill them, working jobs that drain them, staying in relationships that dim their light, all because they've forgotten who they are. But something inside you refuses to settle anymore. You're starting to see through illusions. You're beginning to question everything, your purpose, your beliefs, your path. That's not confusion. That's clarity being born. The world around you hasn't changed, but your perception has. And when your perception shifts, your entire reality follows. The awakening of your spirit doesn't happen in silence. It often happens through chaos. You lose people, opportunities, comfort zones, and stability all at once. It feels like your world is falling apart, but in truth, it's falling into place. Life starts removing what no longer serves your purpose. The job that didn't value you, the person who couldn't see your worth, the situation that kept you small, they begin to fade away because your energy no longer matches theirs. Your spirit is recalibrating. It's aligning with your true path, not the one you settled for. Remember the moment you touched something hot as a child? It burned, it hurt, and you instantly pulled away. Pain woke you up. That's what life does when it wants to awaken your spirit. It sends pain, loss, or discomfort as a signal. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to awaken you. Pain shakes you out of autopilot. It reminds you that you're alive, that you still have fire, that your story isn't over. Sometimes the greatest awakenings come through the hardest seasons. You might be wondering why this awakening feels lonely. Because awakening often requires separation. You can't awaken in a crowd that sleeps. When your spirit starts rising, you naturally drift from people who choose comfort over growth. It's not arrogance, it's evolution. Your vibration changes, and you can't pretend to be the same anymore. You'll start valuing peace more than attention, purpose more than popularity, solitude more than noise. You'll find strength in your own company, because that's where the voice of your spirit speaks the loudest. Think about fire. Before it blazes, it must first ignite. That tiny spark may seem insignificant, but it holds the power to light an entire forest. That spark is inside you right now. It's that tiny whisper telling you to start again, to dream again, to believe again. It's faint, but it's real. And once you feed it, with faith, with discipline, with courage, it grows into a flame that nothing can extinguish. That's what awakening feels like. It starts quietly, then suddenly you're unstoppable. In daily life, you'll notice subtle changes when your spirit awakens. You'll crave truth more than comfort. You'll feel drawn to things that nourish your soul, books that expand your mind, conversations that challenge you, environments that inspire you. You'll stop forcing things and start flowing with life. You'll forgive not because they deserve it, but because your peace matters more. You'll stop chasing approval because your worth will no longer depend on how others see you. Your energy will become magnetic because awakened souls attract abundance effortlessly. When your spirit awakens, your past starts to make sense. The pain, the detours, the delays, they all connect. Every heartbreak that broke you was preparing your heart to open deeper. Every rejection was redirection. Every closed door was protection. The universe was never against you. It was guiding you toward this exact moment. Your awakening isn't random. It's divine timing. In the quiet of this night, your spirit is remembering its own power. It's remembering the dreams you buried, the goals you postponed, the faith you lost. It's reminding you that you were never meant to live small. You were designed to rise, to influence, to inspire. And though the awakening may be uncomfortable, it is sacred. It's the death of who you thought you were and the birth of who you truly are. You are not just a body moving through time. You are a soul awakening to purpose. And once your spirit opens its eyes, it will never fall asleep again. The transformation is not coming. It's happening now. It's not some distant event waiting on the horizon. It's unfolding in this very breath, in this exact second, inside the depths of your soul. You may not see it yet, but something inside you is shifting, evolving, preparing. Every challenge you've faced, every tear you've cried, every failure you've endured, they were not for nothing. They were building the foundation for the version of you that is emerging right now. The transformation isn't waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect version of you. It's happening in your imperfections, in your confusion, in your struggle. Look closely at your life. The moments that seemed meaningless, the days that felt repetitive, the situations that broke you, they were all part of the transformation process. The universe doesn't announce when your transformation begins. It just starts rearranging everything around you. Sometimes it removes people, sometimes it closes doors, And sometimes it breaks your heart just to rebuild your spirit stronger. The process doesn't always look beautiful, but it's always necessary. The seed doesn't bloom in sunlight. It cracks open in the dark soil. And right now, that's exactly what's happening to you. Every single day, you're transforming in small, invisible ways. When you choose patience instead of anger, you're transforming. When you forgive someone who doesn't deserve it, you're transforming. When you wake up and keep going despite the weight on your shoulders, you're transforming. When you start believing in yourself again after being doubted, you're transforming. These aren't just ordinary moments. They're the sacred signs that you're growing, that you're changing, that you're stepping into a higher version of yourself. Transformation doesn't always shout. It whispers. It doesn't always announce its presence with fireworks. It shows up in the quiet courage of your persistence. Think about a caterpillar. It spends most of its life crawling, limited, ordinary. Then one day it stops. It hangs upside down and enters darkness, isolated and still. It dissolves within that cocoon. It literally breaks down into something unrecognizable. That's transformation. It's not glamorous, it's not comfortable, but it's miraculous. Because the same creature that once crawled emerges with wings. It was never meant to stay crawling. It was always meant to fly. And so are you. In daily life, transformation often disguises itself as loss or chaos. Maybe you lost a job, or someone walked out of your life, or something you thought was permanent suddenly vanished. At first, it feels like punishment. But in truth, it's preparation. When something leaves, it's creating space for what's meant to come. When something ends, it's making room for something new to begin. Transformation doesn't come to destroy. It comes to clear. It removes what blocks your vision, what slows your spirit, what dims your fire. You might say, I don't feel like I'm changing. But think of a sunrise. The sky doesn't suddenly burst into daylight. It brightens gradually, minute by minute, until the whole world is illuminated. Transformation works the same way. It's subtle until it's not. One morning, you'll wake up and realize you've outgrown the things that once broke you. You'll realize you speak differently, think differently, move differently. You'll look back and recognize that the pain that tried to destroy you was the very force that shaped you. So many people wait for the perfect time to transform. They say, I'll start when I have more money, more support, more confidence. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. The only perfect moment is now. Transformation begins the instant you decide you're no longer okay staying the same. It's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Your breakthrough doesn't depend on external circumstances. It depends on internal decisions. Once you shift your mindset, everything else follows. Think about your phone when it updates. It restarts, it glitches, sometimes it runs slower for a moment, but it's upgrading in the background. Your life works the same way. When everything feels uncertain, when things slow down, when nothing makes sense, it's because your soul is updating. You're evolving to handle the next level of your destiny. Don't resist the discomfort. It's proof that your system is transforming. Every great story begins with transformation. The athlete who trains in silence, the artist who paints through heartbreak, the student who studies through failure, they all experience invisible moments of change that later become visible success. You are in your invisible stage right now. No one may see your effort, your pain, your growth, but one day they will. And they'll call it luck, not realizing it was transformation all along. Your transformation is not a future event. It's not waiting for some miracle to happen. It's happening the moment you decide to no longer be controlled by fear. It's happening when you choose discipline over distraction. It's happening when you stop chasing validation and start walking in purpose. Transformation doesn't start when everything around you changes. It starts when you do. Remember, even flowers bloom through dirt. Even diamonds form under pressure. Even stars shine in darkness. So if your life feels heavy right now, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're forming. This is the part of your story that builds the strength for the chapters to come. Transformation is not loud. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't seek applause. It happens in moments of quiet resilience, in the unseen victories, in the small steps that no one acknowledges. And one day, all those small steps will become one giant leap. You look back and realize that you didn't just survive, you transformed. Because the transformation was never coming, it was happening all along. In every moment you chose to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep rising. Tonight is not just another night. It's a moment where destinies shift, where hearts awaken, where broken souls remember their worth again. Something in you knows it's time. You've been through storms that tried to drown you, fires that tried to burn you, darkness that tried to silence you. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. That's not weakness, that's transformation in progress. You didn't come this far by accident. You were carried here by purpose. Every scar on your soul is proof that you were chosen to rise higher than the pain that tried to hold you down. Listen to me carefully. This is your turning point. Life has been whispering to you, telling you to let go of the weight that no longer belongs to your future. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You were being positioned, not punished. There are people who walked away because they were never meant to stay in the chapter you're about to write. There are doors that closed because your destiny was too big for the rooms they led to. The transformation you've been praying for is not on the way. It's already here. It's been happening inside you every time you refuse to give up when life gave you every reason to quit. You've been underestimated, overlooked, misunderstood, but that's because they couldn't see what was forming inside you. A diamond doesn't shine while it's buried in the earth. It shines when it's brought into the light. Your light is about to break through every shadow that tried to hide it. You are not who you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. The pain changed you, the lessons shaped you, and the fire refined you. You've been prepared for this season of transformation. The world is about to meet the version of you that fear couldn't destroy, that doubt couldn't silence, that failure couldn't break. You see, transformation doesn't ask for your permission. It demands your participation. It calls you to rise even when you're tired, to believe even when you can't see, to keep walking even when the road disappears beneath your feet. You might stumble, you might fall, but as long as you rise again, you are unstoppable. Because the power that's shaping you is greater than the pressure that's trying to crush you. Don't ever forget this. Pressure creates diamonds, pain births strength, struggle awakens greatness. You are not here by chance. You are here because something inside you refused to die. You are here because life still has something magnificent waiting for you. Your time of being hidden is over. Your time of being silent is ending. It's time for you to rise and shine. You've cried enough tears, you've fought enough battles, and now it's time to reap the rewards of your endurance. This is your season to transform, to step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Remember, the greatest transformations always happen in silence. While others were doubting you, you were growing. While they were sleeping on you, you were evolving. While they were laughing at your pain, you were building the strength that will one day make them clap for your success. Don't look back anymore. The person you used to be doesn't exist. You've outgrown that version of yourself. Your past was not a prison, it was a classroom. You've learned, you've endured, and now you're ready to fly. This is the moment where the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, where the seed becomes the tree, where the dream becomes reality. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust me, it's unfolding beautifully. Life never wastes a struggle. Every sleepless night, every broken dream, every heartbreak was sculpting you into something powerful. And soon, the world will see what perseverance looks like when it refuses to die. The world is not changed by those who play it safe. It's changed by those who step into the unknown and trust that the ground will appear beneath their feet. You are one of them. You were chosen not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. You were willing to keep going when it made no sense, to keep believing when no one else did, to keep standing when everything tried to knock you down. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. Every legend you've ever admired was once where you are right now, unsure, broken, and uncertain. But they didn't let fear win. They chose to keep moving, and that's exactly what you must do. The next level of your life requires a new version of you, one that walks with confidence, speaks with power, and acts with purpose. This is the version that's being born right now through your transformation. When you wake up tomorrow, don't look for signs, become one. Don't wait for light, be the light. Don't seek change, embody it. Your transformation will not be measured by what you gain, but by what you release. The fear, the doubt, the hesitation, the need for validation. When you release those, you rise. You were not born to blend in, you were born to stand out. You were not meant to live in the shadows of your potential. You were meant to illuminate the world with your presence. There's fire in your spirit that the world needs to feel. There's wisdom in your wounds that others need to hear. And there's strength in your story that someone out there needs to see to believe they can survive too. So let this be your declaration tonight. You will no longer be defined by who you were. You will be known for who you're becoming. You will walk with your head high, not because life is easy, but because you finally understand your worth. You will no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You will no longer hide to fit in. Your transformation demands visibility. Your light demands to be seen. And as you step into this new chapter, remember these words deeply. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more capable than you ever imagined. The storm was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. And now that the storm has passed, it's your time to rise. It's your time to shine. It's your time to become everything you were destined to be. Because tonight, chosen one, your transformation isn't coming. It's already begun.